Hi guys, I'd like to welcome you guys all back to Read with Melanin. Today we are here to talk about the books that I read in June. Okay, so for the month of June, month of June I was out here. Quarter two was really about friends, family, and just being outside. And so for the month of June, I did not read a lot. I actually only listened to audiobooks while I was at work and while I was driving. There was no other time. And even then, because I'm working on this report at work, I didn't even get to listen to as many audiobooks as I thought I was going to, but I've only done 4. So let's talk about the 4 that I read. This goes in no particular order, but I listened to When Among Crows by Veronica Roth, and it is a very short book. It's like, I don't even remember how long the audiobook is, but shout out to Macmillan Audio for sending me this book. It was a good read. I enjoyed it a lot. I actually wanted it to be a little longer. So the story focuses on this man named Demeter, and he is looking for this mythical being that's supposed to help him complete this task. I can't tell you what the task is because I kind of feel like it's a spoiler. But I don't know, if you're going to do a short book, if you're going to do a short story like this one, like a short, sweet book, I think this is the way to go. I feel like it was very fast paced. I felt like it was really moving. At first, it was kind of confusing to kind of get into, but once I got into it, I was hooked, baby. Like, I finished it in a day once I understood what was happening. It took a little bit to adjust, but as usual, Veronica Roth seems to really know how to cater to the audience that she's built, and I enjoyed that book. 5 out of 5? No, I think I gave it like a 4, but I liked it. The next book that I read was When I Think of You. Wait, was this a read or was this an audiobook? No. This was an audiobook because it was available at the library. So this story focuses on a young woman who is stagnant at the job that she loves, or at a job working at basically as a receptionist for this high profile like director company thing for movies, and her old college flame is now this big time director, and he hires her to work on the project, and obviously it's a romance book. So here's my thing. I guess it's considered a second chance romance, but I don't understand. Okay, so I personally do not understand second chance romances for the thing of like, for this particular book, a second chance romance when y'all both got issues. I don't know. I think that I have reached a point of reading romance where I am side-eyeing some of the characters, especially the ones that have I call it the third quarter flop, where something happens and they like disappear and all these things. I don't understand how that happens. Like, even in rom-coms, I don't think it happens that much. But I'm like, there's no way that y'all could be let me try that again. There's no way that y'all can communicate enough to decide that y'all want to be together. But then y'all have one moment that's very triggering, and now all of a sudden you no longer want to talk, and you no longer have the desire to like talk to the person that you're so-called in love with. Like, you have no desire to do anything like that. All of a sudden you just want to like quit. And I'm like, I've not experienced that kind of trauma, obviously, so I obviously can't speak from that standpoint, but from reading it from the book standpoint, when I tell you that junk didn't make, that whole thing did not make any sense in this book. There is a third act drop here, and the third act drop was so stupid. I'm sorry, I just have to say it. I did not enjoy that part. It really bummed me out and kind of burned the story. It's like it almost gave the author a chance to just like stop caring and stop writing, because there was no reason to create a moment where they had like, it's like, you know, this man since college and you're telling me that y'all couldn't sit and talk about that one out, talk that out. But also at the same time, she realized that she needed to work on things for herself. And that point of the story, I could respect. It's like, I wish you would have like been able to articulate that better, because I don't feel like y'all did each other justice in this conversation. But feeling like you really need to step out on faith and trust yourself, and you felt like you can't do that in the relationship, I think that says more to, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I feel like if you've read the book, you understand what I'm saying. I still enjoyed the read. I think I gave it a 3 stars. That was my first time reading that author. I think is Maya Ariel or something like that. I would be interested in picking up another book from them and seeing how I like it. So that's been another thing. I've been reading a lot of a variety of authors and really deciding how I feel about them. But I've told myself that from now on, we will be giving each author that, unless the first book that I pick up for them is so bad that I'm just done reading it, Shanghai Immortals, I'm gonna give authors a 2-book rule. Now, I may not buy 2 books, I may just get them from the library, but 2 books is what you're gonna get. Oh, and I did get some questions in my DMs. I should state this. I don't know if I'm gonna be reading the 3rd book in the Children of Blood and Bone series. I know that I absolutely loved the first book because it was basically Avatar: The Last Airbender in Nigeria. And because I recognize it for that, like, I enjoyed that book a lot. But the second book really just irked me. It was so many moments that just don't make sense and still don't make sense even now, that I don't know if I want to continue the series. However, if it becomes available in my library, then I might pick it up just to see how everything ends and how if she manages to even fix all of the wrong that she did in book 1 or book 2. I'm talking about the author. I don't know. The next one was an audiobook that I was sent by Macmillan Audio, and it's funny because this book has officially explained to me what a cozy fantasy is, and I understand now why people gravitate towards these kind of books and why that Lattes and Monsters book, I understand now why people might like really be into this genre, and I actually think I want to continue. So this book was a very easy, fluffy read. It's called The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. And it is in fact a very fluffy fantasy read. So this story focuses on a young girl who works as a librarian, but there is a coup. There's a coup that happens, and she takes as many books as she can, and she runs off to her hometown, her home island, and tries to set up shop there. And it's just really cute. Like, there's no real sense of angst. There's no like fantasy adventure. Like, she's literally just trying to acclimate into living in a new place. And I liked it. I thought it was really cute, enjoyable. It's one of those ones where I just want to like let my mind just kind of float off when I was listening to it, because it creates a very nice visual, or the story created a couple of really nice visuals of just what the island looks like. And I mean, for real, she literally opened a shop selling jam. And so, yeah, I don't know. I now understand what people talk about when they say they want like a cozy fantasy, which makes me think about the Tea Dragon series. Like, the Tea Dragon series is so calming and cozy. Like, I can officially use the word cozy and not feel ick. But if you have any cozy fantasy recommendations that you think I would enjoy, please leave them down below, because I am intrigued. I'm like, dang, reading fantasy where like there's not like an adventure is very interesting. But I enjoyed it. I think I gave this one a 4 because, again, the enjoyment factor for me was really high. I found reading it to be very peaceful and calming. I don't know why, but there are a couple other ones like The Honey Witch and some other ones that I actually really want to read. So we'll be reading some more cozy fantasies. I don't know if I'm going to save them for the fall or if we're going to be doing that to relax in the summer. I finished Mirrored Heavens by Rebecca Roan Horse. It is the third book in the Black Sun series, and baby, while I was just talking about cozy fantasies, there's nothing cozy about this fantasy. 100% enjoyed this series as a whole. Rebecca, hats off to you, sis, because this created, like, there was so much happening in the series that I did not know how everything was going to be wrapped up. There were so many viewpoints that I was worried that we were going to get too confused. And like, I was like, oh my gosh, how Narampa gonna do this? How Serapio gonna do this? How this Tik lady gonna do this? Like, it was so many moments, and I was on edge most of this book because I know Rebecca is not afraid to kill off people. And so I was sitting there like, oh my God, oh my, there were many times reading this book, like the fear of anticipation and my anxiety was so high. And I've been stressed out a little bit too, so that was not helping. So I had to keep pausing the book because it was like, oh my God, she might die here. Oh my God, I don't want her to die. I would literally pause the book and go listen to another audiobook or go do something else entirely, because I was like, if I turn back on this audiobook and Rebecca done killed the Odose Do, I'm gonna be so mad. Listen, the end of the book had me with my mouth open. I was literally like, because that's just not where I was expecting it to go. The final battle per se almost felt anticlimactic compared to the build up to the actual battle. The build up to the actual battle, honey, I was exhausted. I was anxiety ridden. But when the battle actually happened, when it over, I was like, oh damn. Excuse my language. I just realized that. Yeah, I was just like, oh, okay. And Rebecca did something very nice for me because I was asking so many questions by the end. When everything was over, I had so many questions, and somehow it was like Rebecca knew that these were going to be the questions and chose to answer all of these questions in like a here's what happened after kind of feeling. Iktan is still that big. Love them down, love sheer down. Love Iktan, cannot stress that enough. The Chief of Knives or Priest of Knives, whatever. Love, sheer down. Love. The whole idea about the Tik, love, love, love. I hated how they did my Crow Prince though. Like the, I cannot think of his name right now. I cannot think of his name. But I feel like they did him wrong. And Narampa's whole story felt very inconclusive. She is the one character's plot line that I feel like there are no answers to. And I don't know if this was done on purpose because we're about to get a novella or something later on, which I'm not opposed to. I just felt like for Narampa to be such an important integral character for the first two books, I kind of felt like she took a back seat to everyone else's story. But overall, this was almost a 5-star read, y'all. Almost. This is gonna be one of them things where I'm like, yeah, no, you should definitely read this series. This is going on the list. Fantasy series that you should read. If you ask me to suggest you a book, I'm gonna send you a list in the genre that you pick, and if you choose fantasy, this will be there because I genuinely enjoyed this book, and I give this series a 9.5 out of 10. I will be reading more of Rebecca in the future. All right, so those are the books that I listened to in the month of June. My question is, what books did you read? Yes, we are coming out with more videos this month. I know y'all are tired of just seeing 2 videos and then dipping off, but July is I gave myself to the middle of the year to kind of be lazy, so we'll see. But there will be more videos coming, so keep a lookout for the next video, and until the next time, guys, bye.